Limit Break TCG. It has been a while, guys. You know, I've been still been recovering from COVID. You know, taking a little longer than expected. Had a little like a relapse type deal where it got a little worse for a moment there. I'm fine now. Breathing relatively okay. But enough about me. I haven't done a deck profile in a while, much less a Pokemon deck profile. So I'm gonna go and do a Dhelmise Vmax deck list. It's been doing you know, decent online. You know, I see a lot of people playing it. Post rotation, now that ADP's gone, it could really shine a little bit more than it had before. That being said, naturally, there's still decks that are, I don't want to say better, but they kind of are better. Like Sylveon, Rapid Strike with Urshifu. What else they got? Jolteon's doing real good. Suicune with Ice Rider, not to mention Shadow Rider with Alcremie. There's a lot of decks going on right now, and you know, I don't want to say there's an established meta yet so much, but there's a lot of decks that are doing good things. And I think Dhelmise is one of them, to be honest with you. It's kind of an unsung hero. You know, he hits big damage. He's pretty bulky. He can snipe bench Pokemon if he absolutely needs to. So let's dive into the deck list. You know, let's show y'all what it's all about. So we run the green. We're trying to accelerate energy as fast as we can. So we're playing 3 Grookey, 2 Thwackies, and 3 of the Rillabooms. Rillaboom, it's in here for the voltage beat effect. Once per turn, during your turn, you may search your deck for 2 grass energies, and attach them to one of your Pokemon. Then shuffle your deck. Thwacky, you know, he's a free retreat cost if you have a stadium in play, and we do play some stadium. So, you know, if you need to swap them, if you need to, you know, do that, I don't know what the official term is, but if you need to, like, swap him out and stuff like that, you know, he's free if you have a stadium. So that's really nice. And then, of course, again, voltage beat. That's how we get the energy acceleration for green. Another point of this deck is it didn't do well for a long time because of fire was still a very welder was still legal, but now we're in post rotation. Welder's no longer legal, in standard at least. Green can have a little bit more of an impact. Next we run 1 Zarude. I would like to run a second copy of Zarude just because of that jungle rising ability is just so good. For 2 green energy, you may attach 2 green basic energy cards. So not even green, you know, you can attack any basic energy from your hand to bench Pokemon any way you like, and any Pokemon you attach energy to with this effect heal all damage from it. So you can put him in active, use his jungle rising ability, put some energy on a Dhelmise Vmax or something, and heal that Dhelmise if it had any damage on it at all. Sometimes you want to put the Dhelmise out, you want to use that Max Anchor or Giga Hammer, and you know, since it has the during your next turn you can't use this attack again, kind of like the Brave Blade from Zacian in a sense. So you're going to be swapping the Dhelmise out a lot after you do that Max Anchor. So if he has any damage counters on him, you know, you can swap him out for a Zarude. Jungle Rising, heal any damage on that Dhelmise. And then next turn, you can swap out Zarude, because he only has 1 energy for a retreat. Swap him out for the Dhelmise and do the Max Hammer again. Not Max Hammer, Max Anchor, I'm sorry. So, and again, I would really like to run this at 2. I'd probably take it out. Here's the Dhelmise. I'd probably take out 1 Dhelmise for a second Zarude, playing 3 Dhelmise Vs. So, yeah, because Zarude is just so good with that Jungle Rising attack, doing 100 damage and healing your Pokemon. So it's just real nice. Really good, really good. So we got Dhelmise V again. We're playing 4, but I'll probably drop it down to 3 and put one of these as a Zarude. But Anchor, if a grass Pokemon was knocked out the turn before this, it does 90 extra damage, so it'll do 120. But we're really trying to hit that Giga Hammer, that 200 damage. We're trying to do big damage with the anchors. I call Dhelmise the anchors because he's an anchor. So we're trying to do big damage with that. We're trying to load him up quickly with the Rillaboom, trying to get that Giga Hammer and that max anchor off as quick as possible. Try to one-hit KO a couple of things. It one-hit KOs a lot of things. Some things, like, Vmax things, they got that upwards of 300, sometimes 330 HP. So you don't one-hit KO those, but most other things you can hit with a with one attack. Because moving on from the Dhelmise Vs, we're going to show you the Vmaxes. And so yeah, I would like to run the 3-3V and Vmaxes, swapping out one of the 4 Dhelmises for Zarude, but enough about that. Moving on, we got Swinging Chain, which does 30 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each grass energy attached to this Pokemon. So it hits bench things, it hits active, whatever you want to hit, you can hit it. And then, of course, the max anchor for 240. We're for 3 energy, we're hitting 240, which is big numbers, big numbers. So, like I said, one-hit KOs most things. Sometimes if you want to do the max hammer, and if they're like, oh, 240, okay, well, next he hits me again, I'm gonna lose this Pokemon. I'm gonna have to give up some prize cards. So they move it to the bench. Well, you can still hit him with that Swinging Chain. So it's nice. So it can hit big numbers on active. And it can also hit big numbers on the bench as well. Because remember, it hits for 30 for each energy attached to this Pokemon. So if you got the 3 energy just for the max anchor, you're hitting Swinging Chain for 90, which is decent damage. But if you want to load this dude up with some, say like 6 energy, which you can, I don't know why you would, but it is possible if you want to get that Swinging Chain to the max potential. Swinging Chain is going to be hitting for 180. On anything, bench, active, whatever the hell you want to hit, you can hit it. So Dhelmise V, that's one thing we really like about it, how it does massive damage to active, but it can also kind of snipe bench if it needs to. And then now I think we're going on to our other Pokemon. We run a double V. This was in here before rotation, mainly to deal with the fire matchup, because it being a grass deck, fire usually one-hit KO'd us. So we'd usually go for the double and try to do big hits with that. Because Rillaboom can load up the double. It doesn't have to attach it to a grass Pokemon. It just attaches it to any Pokemon. So if we load up double with the 3 energy, hitting that Revenge Blast, especially late game, we're going to be doing massive damage. And then, of course, his ability, Soft Wool, basically damage reduction, attacks do 30 less. So he can kind of hang in there a little bit, do big damages late game. And then, of course, we run Crobat for the consistency, dark asset. Play it from your hand to your bench, draw until you have 6. That's all we really play that for. Okay, moving on to our trainer cards. We play 2 of the stadiums. Tuffield Stadium, once per turn during each player's turn, so it can, you know how your opponents can usually use stadiums as well. That player may search their deck for a evolution grass Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into their hand. So you can look for Thwackey, you can look for Rillaboom if you have a rare candy in your hand, and I'll show you we play rare candies. You can search for the Vmax. So it's you can search a lot of your important things. You need Rillaboom to load up your grass energy. You need Vmax, Dhelmise, because he's your big hitter. He's he's basically the bread and butter of the deck. So this searches most of all the things that you're going to be needing to play. And then this is the stadium for Thwackey to have that free evolution, retreat cost. I'm sorry. So this is the stadium we choose to play naturally. And then moving on to the other trainers, we play 4 of the quick balls because we're trying to get our board state set up as quick as possible. We're getting Grookey, we're getting Zarude, we're getting Dhelmise V, we're getting Crobat if we absolutely need to, and we need to bench him and put some get some draw. So yeah, naturally we play the 4 quick balls, and then we play the 4 rare candies to sometimes go from Grookey straight into our Rillaboom, bypassing Thwacky. Everybody knows what rare candies do, so I'm not really going to explain that too much. And then we play 4 switches, because again, let's back up a little bit to these 2 cards right here. So Giga Hammer says you can't use, during your next turn, this Pokemon can't use Giga Hammer. Then Max Hammer says the same thing. During your next turn, you can't use Max Hammer. So switching them out reloads them into basically a new Pokemon, and you can use that Max Hammer or Giga Hammer, Max Anchor, Giga Hammer again. So if you have Dhelmise Vmax in the active, and you use Max Anchor, and then they go through their turn, he's still alive, it passes turn, if you switch him to the bench, and then switch him back out, or if you retreat him with the retreat cost, load him up with a Rillaboom, get him nice and ready, switch into the active spot, he can use Max Anchor again, because he's basically a new Pokemon at that point. So we play lots of switch cards. We play 4 actual switches, and then our supporter lineup has a lot of switch power too. We'll get to that shortly as we, I think next actually. Nope, we got a couple more trainers. 2 Great Balls, top 7. Look for a Pokemon, consistency. I thought about putting Level Ball here, but Level Ball only really grabs Thwacky and Grookey. And sometimes I need more than that. Sometimes I'm looking for a VMAX. And honestly, I'd probably put these... if I were to take these out, they'd be Evolution Incenses, hands down. But, sometimes I think of it like this. Evolution Insects, really good card. Searches just about the entire deck. Problem with that is Great Ball. Sometimes I don't have a Quick Ball and I need to get a Grookey, or I need to get a Crobat, or I need Dubwool or Zarude. So Great Ball is kind of just what it's in there for. It's basically another Quick Ball. It can search anything in the deck, but not having Evolution Incense here makes me... So Evolution Incense, you can search your deck for a Evolution card, naturally. But again, like I said, sometimes I'm looking for a Grookey, I'm looking for a Zarude, I'm looking for a Crobat. So this is kind of just top 7, grab whatever you need at the time if you see it. But it works out so far. So I'm not gonna switch it out yet until I feel like it needs to be. Maybe Ultra Ball, when Ultra Ball comes out, I'll swap it out for that. Moving on, we got 2 Ordinary Rods. We only play 10 basic energy in this deck, so, and we're loading it up from the deck with Rillaboom real quickly. So when our things die, we need to get our energy back into the deck. This helps us do that, to use Rillaboom to load up a new target. And then, of course, the 2 Pokemon back into, let's say I need another Grookey or Rillaboom, or if I want to recycle my 1 Zarude right now while I only have 1, take 2 basic energies and 2 Pokemon, shuffle them back in the deck. So it's recycle. And this deck needs that, Most decks need recycle, depending on what you're doing. But this deck is one of them. Consistency, we run 4 research. We're trying to get to all of our pieces as quick. Sometimes we pitch cards we don't want to pitch with this card. A lot of times it's fun. Ordinary Rod kind of helps us out. Getting Pokemon that we lost off of the discard, or energy we lost off the discard, Ordinary Rod helps us out a little bit. Pitch hand, draw 7. Using this card when it's the last card in your hand always feels nice. Always feels nice. Draw 7, plain and simple. We got 4 Marnies for also consistency reasons. We don't like our hand, we put it back, get a new one. And we do the same to our opponent. If our opponent has a big old hand of 10 and we want to do a little bit of destruction, card destruction, get some cards out of their hand, we put them to 4 with this. Everybody, at this point, everybody should know what Marnie does. Again, like Rare Candy, I'm not going to get into it. And then 3 bosses orders because we're trying to hit the things we want to hit for big numbers, not the cards your opponent wants us to hit. So they bench something they think it's safe. We've bosses orders it out. I've also thought about putting some Pokemon catchers in here. You know, the flip a coin, switch something. But 3 bosses has been doing fine so far. Again, the swinging chain, we can kind of hit things on bench anyway. So bosses orders, you know, at 3 is fine. And then we have 2 Bird Keeper. This is our other switch card, but we get to draw with it. Switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon, and if you do, draw 3 cards. So again, we're trying to swap out that Max Anchor, be able to reuse it again in succession. Bird Keeper and switches help us do that. And that's all of our supporters. Yeah, that's all of our supporters. So, moving on to the energy. We'll be real quick, because I already told you we play 10 energies. 10 basic energies. I'll dive right into it. We play 2 aromatics. Just to deal with special conditions, you know, paralysis, poison. That's still kind of a thing right now. Paralysis, poison, confusion. And we're trying to not have to worry about that. So aroma energy, heal all special conditions from a grass Pokemon when this is attached to it. So yeah, and then we play our 10 basics. So that's it for the deck list. I'm trying to keep it short and sweet, trying not to ramble on too long. Deck really does good. I haven't really played it in tournaments lately because our locals has just started doing Pokemon again since COVID started. We have 1 monthly tournament for right now, and I'm looking to take this to that, as well as another deck I have that I will do a deck profile of once I feel I've tested it enough. I've tested this a lot. I have this deck built online, and that's usually where I've done most of the testing for this deck, and it does really good. Naturally, you know, Sylveon matchup, Rapid Strike, Urshifu, Shadow Rider, you know, all of those are really good decks, but, you know, I've pulled off a couple of wins against those decks with this deck as well. So it could kind of, you know, it's kind of that underdog, you know, that underdog rogue type strategy that people don't really know what it does. They don't know what's coming, and then boom, Dhelmise just hits them for 240. Smacks him in the face with a swinging chain, and you know, you get some wins, you know. So this is the deck profile. I hope you enjoy it. I really like the deck. I love Dhelmise as a Pokemon. You know, he's just a ghost anchor. That's just that's awesome. He's got a freaking pirate steering wheel. You know, he's so cool. And then Grookey, Zarude. I love Grookey. He's my starter on Sword and Shield. He's so adorable, little monkey. Anyway, and then the Zarude's also a monkey. So, again, I'm not going to try to ramble on too much. This is the deck profile. It does really good online. You know, I would say it's got a nice little 75% win ratio. I'll look it up on my account in a little bit. Maybe put it in the comment section. But, you know, it does good tit for tat games. You know, it's definitely not something that gets run over. Now that fire is kind of out of the equation, you know, Centiskorch Vmax is a little bit not really around anymore because we lost Welder. Reshazard's gone. So since fire is not an issue for now, this deck's, you know, there's no deck that this auto loses to. Let me put it that way. There's no deck that this really auto loses to. Of course, it comes down to the pilot, but I feel like this is the best list we can get right now with it. So, until next time, hope you enjoy this Pokemon deck profile. I have more coming soon. I have a Duraludon Vmax deck coming. As soon as I test it more, I'm probably going to also have a... I would do a Blissey V deck. I'm making a Blissey V deck, but everybody basically knows it's just your Blisseys, bunch of different crazy energies, and that's basically it, and heals. So I'm not really going to do a deck profile of that. Everybody kind of knows what it does. But that's Dhelmise. I'll do a Duraludon in the coming weeks as I test it more. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, Limit Break. Peace.